Hi, all you happy people. So, I'm still alive. Woohoo! So, put down your pens and stop writing my obituaries, please. I plan to keep kicking, regardless of all the downside to 2021 already. So, I will worry about doing an update video later. I do not have the mental stability to want to do that right now. But I will let you all know. I'm planning to try to upload at least one video a week. Keyword is planning. Don't know if that's going to happen. But with how my work schedule is, I pretty much don't have much to do on Fridays. So there's that. I do have a TikTok, but I'm not using it anymore. I am in no way, shape, and form connected to the Banner of the Raven. So there's that. I walked away from that, my own personal reasons, and I don't want to go into it, and I won't. Because I do not want to speak ill will of some people in there that I actually like. So, with that being said, let's get into what is going on today. I want to talk about runes again. Why? Well, because runes have so much controversy around some of them and so much meaning to me personally, like with the Journeyman or Run, or Rand, or Reed, or however you want to pronounce it, or the R, basically, which means horse ride, journey, because I like leaving and moving places. And Thor. Not talking about that last one. I'm kidding. Yeah, we can actually. I don't mind having the idea of Thor connected to me, even though I use primarily Loki. But I also use Odin. I also use Freya, I use Frigg. I use all of them because they're my pantheon. And why not? So, as most of you know, I have my Dragon Blood ones. My Dragon Blood runes. The stone runes with the gold encryption, and of course my blank one. These are my favorite. These are ones that I bought when I started out, and I love them. And coincidentally enough, I just reached in and pulled. I pulled my rune. Some of my videos on TikTok, when I did do them, when I do runes on myself, I always had this one on me because it's my rune. But there's other types of runes besides just like the normal those. You can get them on wood or make them yourself on wood, which that means they get the negative side much like the stones have. If you do make them on wood, it's suggested to have them all the same size so that you don't know which one you're pulling. With stones, it can be a little bit harder. Obviously, this wood chip was actually burnt for me by somebody else, and it's Find the Cure Hope. It's a cancer one that was supposed to go to Mom, but will be going on her altar. And when I start building that, you guys will be privy to that, and you'll be there in video form, because I'm actually going to video it. It will be going on her altar with the tiara I got for her, which was supposed to match with hers. We were supposed to be twinsies. So, back on runes. There's other types, and I will give a shout out to this site real quick because I love them. They have some great product, and I will probably link them in the description. But mind you, they're kind of expensive. You Are Wizards. They make dice. You can get D&D dice, so you can get D20s with Yeet, where Nat 1 is, or whatnot, or Yay, where Nat 20 is. One of the cool things is you get a sticker with every order. I just don't know where to put it yet. I've had it for a while. But this is the cool little baggie mine came in. And it came in a good little container. In this container are 4 dice made of solid amethyst with runes on them. So basically the idea to cast these runes is you roll them. Um, it can be used much like in D&D for like your character needs to cast runes for the day, or you're just casting them normal, which is something that I'm working on getting better at, seeing that we all know my favorite rune. So one thing we're going to talk about is the stigma behind a couple of these runes, which a few of you do know, some of you don't, which is fine. But put these two back in here. I'm going to use the dice one because there's a lot more clearer to look at it. We're going to start out with one symbol that has been used and misused, and unfortunately, I actually don't think they put it on these. Huh. Give me a minute. Okay, they did. It's just they made it a little bit more pronounced when you're looking at a part of it compared to another part. But I will actually use the stone version of it because it's clearer cut on here than it is on there. This one. This is also known as Sol or Sign, which is known for the sun, thunderbolt, and honor. Unfortunately, this one has been used because of Nazis. Yep, Nazis. Specifically the SS. It was on their chevrons on the top collar, their uniforms. They would double it up, though. So the saving grace with that is it was both of them at the same time. Kind of the double lightning bolts is what they would call it because of their shape. In more recent years, it has lost that stigma, luckily, because it's not in duplicates on stuff, and it never has been, which has been that rune's saving grace. Unfortunately, for other symbols that have been connected back to that, the fact that they use that to make the black sun symbol as well has given it a bit of a problem. By the way, the black sun has never been part of the Nordic belief or anything. That was generally made by a bunch of racist idiots. And that's the easiest way to describe that. So the other symbol actually has been altered. And that symbol is one that you look at and you're like, why would you ever do that to anything? And it is a simple, beautiful symbol, and sometimes you don't notice what they've done to it until you actually look at it and realize there's something wrong with it. It does not have an Old Norse pronunciation, but the Old English is idil, also known as heritage or estate. You all recognize that symbol. That's pretty. Well, the bastardized version. The bastardized version is, obviously you can see the difference. They added the wings on the bottom. I have found this on a few pieces of jewelry that I have gotten from Wish. And subsequently, those pieces of jewelry has found their way into a box and buried. Because we don't need that. That is what some of the white supremacists use or have tattooed on them. And they claim it means Odin, which it does not. Odin's rune is Osis or Esa, which is... Ah! Yeah, these things are hard to open. Which is this. The F. Notice because it's facing a camera, it's facing the wrong way on mine. So, yeah. That's Odin. That's supposed to be inspired. It's wisdom, Odin, well, inspiration. But that's how you can see some of the modern day white supremacists is by the extra on that. I have thrown away many items that has had that on it that I've discovered because it takes away the actual true meaning of the rune. It turns it into something that it is not. And it sucks. There's been a few runes when it comes to a lot of this that have become bastardized, has become altered, that I don't know myself. But like I said, the black sun, that is not a symbol. That is literally a made-up one. If you don't know what that is, please Google it, because I'm not drawing that out. I'm not doing anything with that. I cringed having to draw the other one, because I don't like doing that. I don't like taking something I believe and making it into something horrible. But we all know there's been a history of racist assholes who will take any symbol and make it into hate. Hell, we've seen people take something as simple as Celtic knots and turn it into something horrible. We've seen somebody take a symbol that literally means peace and prosperity and love and turn it into something vile and disgusting and into a reminder of hatred, racism, and death. We have seen somebody take something as innocent as the cross that was supposed to, even though I still don't agree with the idea of wearing something that my God or somebody I worship as one was killed on, but hey, teach their own. We've seen them use that as hate. We have seen them use a lot of things as hate. And it hurts and it sucks. It doesn't matter what your belief is or your religion, but to see your symbols that you love or your runes or anything from that depicted as a symbol of hate is hard. That's why I'm glad that people are working to bring the stigma away from runes. I'm glad people are working to bring the stigma away from tarot cards. I'm happy to see that people are pulling stigma and dumbassery away from symbols that don't deserve that treatment. But there are some symbols, unfortunately, that will never go back to being the same. And we all know it. And there's nothing we can do about it. We can try and try, but that will still stand there and it will still hurt others for generations to come. And yes, everybody's like, oh, well, you're a snowflake if you get offended by a symbol. No. You're not a snowflake. No, you're not weak. No, you're not any of those things. You are a sensitive person who understands the meaning of the hatred behind a symbol and don't want that hatred feeling in your life. You are valid in that point. you are also valid in wanting to see better for things. And I thank people for that. I'm glad there's things out there that are showing the differences as well. And people are willing to talk about these kinds of things. But do know it's a hard subject to talk about for some, and an easy one for others. But just remember, runes are runes. They're symbols from our past. They're how one culture used to talk. Well, not talk, but write. They're how people tell fortunes. They're how people deviate into the future. They're how people cast into their own spellcraft. They're used for protection. They're used for prayer. They're used for meditation. They're used for whatever you use them for. The intent of nothing is intently evil. They are for your use, and whatever you use them in is what they take on. So, with that being said, use your symbols, use your runes, use what you do with light and love and with good intentions. Hell, if you're going to use them for bad intentions, please don't use them. Use them carefully is the easiest way to put it there. Because these symbols hold power and meaning to others. And that shouldn't be taken lightly for anyone. Though if you guys have watched WandaVision, in there they do talk about the casting of the rune circles. They do talk about a few things in the later episodes, the last two I believe. Yes, I just finished that and holy crap. But they do talk about those, so you get to see a few things. So I would highly suggest it because it is a good series after you get past the first 3 episodes. So yeah. But even with those episodes, it's pretty good. That's my random rant there on Disney Plus. So runes are what you intend, not what idiots have made them into. And by idiots, we all know what I mean. White supremacist douchebags that think a certain mustachio idiot was right. But with that being said, look into your own runes, look into your own symbols of your own heritage, and enjoy what you find. Learn what you find. And never stop reading. Never stop understanding. Never stop learning. Blessed be.